Lamborghini.
The one with the two, not the one without the two.
That's the one, is it?
You know, the one that's fucking OP. And none of these have learned that yet. Oh no, it's boring, man. Fucking boring. I need to stop the swearing, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Fucking peenie!
Fucking peenie.
Don't switch, I don't care. Don't care. Just, Mike, get the fucking things done. I don't care. Who's this Gracie motherfucker? How many racers do we have on a Sunday? Okay, I was practicing with 16.
Oh, this is new guy, right? He's done my fucking head in. And then he goes, oh, I don't think I'm quite ready yet, so I won't race tonight. I'll race next week and get the practice in. What? What do you mean you get the fucking practice in? Like, oh.
Fucking pee.
Fucking peenie.
I should really be practicing for knock hill.
Why?
Because I'm only leading the championship by 7 points.
Why?
Because I
Because you're a shit.
No, because I got booted out of the server.
Night, big man. Night, Disney dramas. Night.
Love you. Love you. Punch Matt in the face while you're at it.
Shut up, you cunt.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Matt,
So
we need to get rid of these C bombs and yeah. Fucking knob.
Gary's never in a pink and fucking green. Oh, Gary, that's awful.
She's hot.
I can't eat, I can't sleep. What else can it be?
Thing is so deep. What else can I gonna do? We end up start singing JLS in the middle of this, aren't we?
Fucking well, why not? It's a fucking hour-long fucking thing with 11 drivers because he's not.
Why did you make it an hour? Just do 45 minutes next time. Fucking Jesus.
The thing you won't let you do 45 minutes. We went from like half an hour to an hour. It was like one race of an hour will do then. Like in Fury reported me earlier, he's like, so because I was saying, oh, Gary's racing tonight. Went, oh, that'd be good. Someone to challenge me. And he goes, I says it's Gary's 300th then in this race. He went, oh, when's my 300th? I says, so you got to do tonight, both tomorrow, both on Thursday, next Sunday. And
he's actually in the old Porsche. Fuck that.
Your 300th race will be the final race of the season on fucking GT4. Up. Who has? Oh shit, he's here. Holy fucking shitballs.
Holy dick balls.
Well, he said to me he didn't believe how heavy it was raining earlier, so I sent him a Snapchat video of it.
And then you send it to me. Why'd you send it to me? I don't care.
Because at the time, it was 70-odd% chance of rain, and it was flooded. And I thought, oh, send it down for comms tonight. This could be fun. This is arguably typical Donny weather in April. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gary be fucking slipping down Craner curves, picking his chips up. Oh, kiddo. Right. Are we ready? 5, 4.
No.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport here for round 3 of the season. We're on home soil of the Simplay Straight here for the Donington Park race. Round 3 of the season. I'm your host, Matthew Duffin, joined in the commentary box by my Sunday evening co-commentator, that is the Thursday night lead commentator of Dan Davis. Dan, good evening. This brings back fond memories here at Donington Park. A wet East Midlands today. We normally are in these kind of conditions in April when we're actually stood at the circuit.
Yeah, definitely so. One man who would definitely be enjoying these conditions and making sure he doesn't drop his chips is Gary131, as he stacked it on the bank going down towards the old hairpin, and he dropped his chips all over the floor, and he was really upset. But at least his, I believe he had like a taco. Oh, kebab. That's it, kebab. But he saved his kebab. Here he is, racing in the wet, and we'll see what this man can do. But we are here at Donington Park, the home of Simplay Motorsport. It's now the adopted home. It was Daytona, but since we ain't got Daytona, anyone who makes a Assetto Corsa, let's get it on the server, please, because that'd be fantastic, so we can go back home. But no, interesting nights with racing, and I've just gone on board with Gary, and he's really hanging it sideways.
He's not stacked it down the train of curves already, has he?
No, not yet. But up towards what's the blind right-hander called onto the Simplay straight? I can never remember that corner's name. Coppice. Let's just put it this way: he spent more of it sideways than actually going around it. But an interesting night's worth of racing ahead of us. Donington Park in pretty much flooded conditions, let's be honest. Yeah, should be a fun night's worth of racing. Matt, and how are you doing, my friend, after a tricky night's worth of racing at Suzuka?
Yeah, very good. Very, very good, my friend. Cold. We've had a lot of snow overnight here in the Mansfield area. So I'm about 45 minutes away from the track. We've had a lot of snow. So it is very cold here today, really is. But apart from that, we're all good. Suzuka was tricky but fun, you know, take 2 third places, as we said on Thursday. And yeah, looking forward to sort of, I've just on commentary duty this week, so obviously not here Thursday night to do the Nürburgring, which I believe is wet, cold and tricky, was what Mike was describing after Thursday night's racing.
Let's see. Let's see what I've got plans. I may or may not be able to race Pro-Am, but we shall see. I think I might make a return back to the Audi after winning the championship. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting week for the Nürburgring guys. But we are here at Donington Park in the wet conditions, and I find this track, or I find most British tracks, weird. I can never seem to gel with them, but somehow I do well on them, which I don't get. And I always seem to have internet issues or game issues at this circuit for some bizarre reason as well. Just to put it into perspective, if anybody does know, a couple of seasons back, I was racing on Project Cars. Emo guy was running late after walking his dog. He then joined the server, and it completely broke Project Cars 2 for me. So then I had to buy the game all over again and download a digital version. And then, funnily enough, Matt, I'm racing on another league on R Factor 2 the other night at Donington Park, and funnily enough, it booted me out again in race 2. So, yeah, I love
race
it here.
Twos,
absolutely love
race
it here.
Twos and you do not go well around this circuit. Cranky Duckhead then is going to be the first man to set a lap time. Let's just check he's on a valid one. Yes, he is. So he's going to be the first man to set a valid lap time on this wet circuit. It is 10 degrees track temp. It is 7 p.m. at the evening. He goes provisional pole position before the current man on his 300th race appearance tonight in this one and only race. Gary131 will go across the line in the old Porsche 991 and goes second fastest. PM Motorsport then goes stays P3 but doesn't do a lap time. In the practice session, this man, Hypertech, was running third place and running pretty well. He's gone pole position now provisionally by over a second. So keep your eyes out for Hypertech tonight. It could be the night he gets a good result. We know he's due a good result. He's shown pace on that Wednesday night down with yourself. At times he's been at the front of the pack, especially in the reverse grid races where he's been able to do a bit. He's got a couple of podiums, I do believe, as well. So Hypertech due a good result here tonight.
He loves reminding me that he beat me actually here in the wet conditions in Pro-Am. So he does love to remind me of that one, and I go on board with him, and he's now facing the wrong way. So, yeah. I think we keep an eye on Hypertech tonight. Obviously, Daz Automatic in the McLaren will look good as well. The McLaren, a very stable and balanced car, very long wheelbase as well, so it should be able to keep its grip. Even though the downforce won't really mean too much, as you obviously need to generate top speed to get the downforce to work at its highest effect. But if these guys are going a lot slower, then they will not be getting that downforce effect really on the car. So a lot of these guys may actually get rid of the wings. The one obviously to keep an eye on tonight is the two BMWs of Fury and Smoky Devil. The BMW, a very, very good car, and I think it's even better in the wet. And I think the thing with the BMW is well balanced, it's well set up, even in the preset setups, it's very good car. And obviously with Fury in his hands, he's run a little bit wide at the hairpin. But I think the BMW will look the strongest tonight.
Right, look, the strongest is Gary goes pole position. Pien goes into P3, currently 0.8 of a second off the back of him. The next car is Daz to the line, 2.2 off the pace at the minute. He's the next one on a flying lap. The championship standings then look a little like this, and it is Fury, the man who leads the way. Not only GT4s, but PS5 GT3s as well. He has a 20-point lead over Smoky Devil with PN Motorsport as Daz now tops the timing screens. Alpha Co will be the next one to cross the line. Smoky Devil 20 points behind on 83. PN Motorsport third place. Good season for PN. Been very consistent so far. Daz is P4 with Dean P5. The Cranky Duckhead P6. DJ Phil up in P7 with Alpha Co CB, who's just crossed the line and improves a small amount. What will Monkey Boy do as he gets to the line now? He doesn't improve. The next car is 53 of DJ Phil. Sven, he's P10 with Porto P11. Tech leader not here tonight, P12. Green Wolfnate at 13th. Mutsnuts 14th after a good result last week. He'll be looking to bounce and capitalise on back-to-back good results. DJ Phil now goes into second place. Hello, DJ Phil come to play with Daz provisional pole. The Mutsnuts, the next one to the line. He doesn't do anything. Next car is car 31. That will be the Cranky Duckhead. Monkey Boy's 15th with Dean Musocki 16th. E. McKizzle down in 17th place, and a few drivers that haven't scored points yet this season. Like we said, it's Gary's 300th race tonight. As well as that, Fury could take his 25th pole position. As Cranky Duckhead's very, very wide, he'll not be getting a lap in there. So the next one will turn to his PN Motorsport. And then the car statistics as well. If you look at the car stats for some of these cars out there, nobody really can achieve anything tonight. BMW could possibly go within 2 podiums of 100. Ferrari will be getting close to that 500th race start as PN bails to pit lane. So it's all attention now to Fury, who's looking for his 25th pole position down, and as he round Goddard's hairpin, one lap. He's only probably going to get 2 more laps in. Tops the timesheets 0.8 of a second. This is a man on form in this BMW M4.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, he hasn't had the challenge of the other boys who haven't been here. Porto hasn't turned up in 2 races now, and I think it was Survey or Sven, that's the one, hasn't turned up either. So he had internet issues, and that's why he's not here tonight. The man we've got to keep an eye on, although he's in the old Porsche, it is Gary 131, and British circuits, wet conditions.
Yeah.
Gary's favourite combination.
He loves them. He absolutely loves them. Then as here comes Dean to the line. Currently not yet set a flying lap as Dean, he gets to the line. Now he goes P9 at the moment. Alpha Co CB, he's going to bail off into the pits. The Mutts Nuts, who's currently down in 11th place, not yet got a valid lap time on the board, goes into P3. Smoky Devil doesn't do a valid lap. What about DJ Phil, who's currently sat P4? No improvement from DJ Phil, by the way. So Gary's in the old Porsche, DJ Phil's in the old Lamborghini. Good qualifying for the 2 of the old cars.
Yeah, indeed. Again, it's not all based on raw pace here. It's all based on who's got the biggest nuts, for starters. And the Mutts Nuts at the minute is up there in P3. But it's whoever's got the confidence in these wet conditions, you can have the fastest car. But if you can't excel in these wet conditions, find the grip, find where the time is, Fury's in the wall, then it's no use. You know, you could be in a slow car, and as long as you keep facing in the right way and being smooth and consistent, that's all that matters. A lot of guys in the pits at the minute, and only half a minute to go, so this will be everyone's last laps. I think it will be the number 4 of Monkey Boy to be the first to not complete, to not be able to finish a lap, but we'll see as he comes up to the hairpin now. He is the next one on a valid lap.
Yeah, he's at the Melbourne Loop now, and as he comes through that towards Goddard, he's probably not going to get to the line in time to complete a final, get another flying lap in. 12 seconds, you know what, it might be close here. It depends on his exit through Goddard's now as he exits the corner. 5 seconds. This could be very tight. Monkey Boy actually will just squeak another lap and slightly improves on his time. So car 38 will be the last. Will be the next one to finish. Dean very squirrely out the final corner. What is he going to do? Will he improve on his lap time? 3.9 off the back. Not good enough for him. The Mutts Nuts. He goes top of the timing screens. So Fury needs to nail this last lap now if he's to get anything out of this. DJ Phil down in P4. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. He crosses the line. No improvement there. The Cranky Duckhead. And then it is Fury, who is following Daz Automatic at the moment in this pursuit of the final lap that they're both on, with Monkey Boy, who's bailed on his lap down at the old hairpin.
Yeah, sometimes following another car in these conditions is not the best thing, because Daz might make a slight mistake and then Fury might make the same mistake, just watching and following, being a little bit too cautious. But the Mutt's Nuts, possibly his first ever pole position here at Simplay Motorsport. Fury's flashing him, but he doesn't need to get out of the way. He's on a flying lap, so Daz could continue as he's going, but it's all about getting that grip and traction. Daz seems to be on an improved lap time, so we'll see what he can do.
We'll see what he can do.
He is currently up by half a second on my screen.
Well, he comes through Goddard's now. Fury just a little bit behind him. Now the slipstream's not going to really be any dividends here, because that spray's going to be really distracting Fury in that braking zone. And Fury, oh, he ties the Mutt's Nuts. They've done the identical lap time, but the Mutt's Nuts will take pole position. It is pole position number 39 for the Porsche. Sorry, it's pole position number 40 for the Porsche. The Porsche has really tumbled down the list. Pole number 40 for the Porsche. And for the Mutt's Nuts, like Dan said, I believe that is his first ever pole position here at Simplay Motorsport. Just looking on the statistics page for his name now. He has raced with us previously on Formula Ones. Yes, that is his first ever pole position here. So Porsche take it and the Mutt's Nuts takes it. But Dan, exact same lap time as Fury. That's incredible.
That is indeed, but it's the first time he got there first, so he gets pole position, and that was a fast turnaround as well. These boys didn't really get much time to change their settings, so the timer was very, very, very quick then. So these boys are going to probably be struggling with maybe fuel or brakes or something along those lines, because that was a quick turnaround.
Yeah, sadly we cannot change the timer of the turnaround between the races. So this is something that the drivers have to...
DJ Phil, an impressive qualifying session.
Yeah, really, really so. You know, P5, really done well. P4, sorry, out-qualified Gary, you know, two-time champ here. So impressive stuff for DJ Phil.
Indeed, indeed.
Tip for the race winner?
Fury.
I'm going to go for Daz Automatic from P3 as it's green and go here. DJ Phil's got a drive through. That'll be for speeding at the start, but it's down towards turn one. Oh, and it's contact between Daz and the Mutt's Nuts, with Gary and DJ Phil sail around the outside. So it is now Fury from DJ from Gary. Oh, DJ Phil, if he only didn't have that stop-go penalty, drive-through penalty to his name, he'd be running P2 at the minute. The Mutt's Nuts. Look at the spray, Dan. That is awful down the Craners.
That is awful, and there's like no grip. They're all just sliding all over the shot. Track temperature 9 degrees right now, and Fury's gone up the hill, and he's got a lovely gap of 1.2. Gary's right behind DJ Phil. DJ Phil might as well just let them all go through now, because he's just got to come into the pits, as they're all just trying to find where the grip levels are, and all over the grass is DJ Phil.
It is indeed Gary. Good move then into McLean's up the inside. Matt Neal-esque, you might say, a Smoky Devil now on the back of Monkey Boy. Round this final couple of corners, down onto the Simplay straight, should we say, through Coppice comes Smoky Devil now. He's on the back of the Porsche Monkey Boy. Daz Automatic, who tumbled down the list into 8th. He's looking on the back of Smoky Devil. Is he going to look up the inside into the Fogarty S's? No, he's not on the brakes, and as they stop, damn, the spray, the visibility here. You can see through the Fogarty S's. These drivers have got a lot of work to do, as here comes Daz, having a look into the Melbourne loop on Smoky Devil. Is he going to go the inside? More contact made, and Smoky into Monkey Boy now.
Boys, that was messy. Smoky Devil turned in on Daz as he went down the inside, and Monkey Boy, the bystander and all that, poor Monkey Boy has come off worst out of orbit after those two are too busy tripping over one another, and Daz never got the move completed on Smoky, so I would be surprised if Monkey Boy puts there, and he runs very wide as well, so Monkey Boy
now what's happened to Fury, Dan? Apologies to cut in, but Fury's tumbled to 3rd. Gary 131 on his 300th race in the very old Porsche British circuit, wet conditions. Gary, fastest lap, leads this race. The Mutt's Nuts in 2nd from Fury from Hypertech up in P4. Smoky Devil's got himself ahead of DJ Phil, who's in the pits. Daz is 6th with Monkey Boy 7th now after they get past DJ Phil. Alpha Co will be 8th, Cranky Duckhead 9th, Dean will be 10th, and PN will be 11th with DJ Phil tumbling down the standings. But it is a Porsche one too, except it's the 991 beating the 992. You cannot write Gary 131 winning on British circuits. It is just meant to be.
British circuits in the wet, and you can just see the two Porsches going down the Craners are literally sliding as Fury's now trying to attack the Mutt's Nuts on the inside as they head up towards the blind right-hander, and I see there that the Mutt's Nuts gave the space. He ran onto the gravel, and that was it. Fury was through. Fury, before he came up, did say he was looking forward to racing Gary here at Donington, and this is why.
Yeah, this is why Hypertech's now got a good run down towards Coppice. By the way, PS5 version, we can see all the auxiliary lights the drivers have on display. They're the lights on the cars that are lit up. You see on Hypertech's car, it is the green on the front grille, excuse me. He's all over the back of the Mutsnuts. Mutsnuts got him each side of the windscreen as the Mutsnuts trying to gain back on Fury. Smoky Devil and Daz going back at it. Daz has now got ahead of Smoky Devil. There's Monkey Boy. Cranky Duckhead is trying to hunt him down with Dean, PM Motorsport, Alpha Co, and DJ Phil actually not a million miles off the back of the packy. DJ Phil here. He's close to the back of Alpha Co.
Deep in the final. Gary went deep in the final corner and Fury got really close to the rear end of that Porsche, but Gary still leads this race, but Fury now takes fastest lap of the race.
Fury fastest lap of the race, so it's Gary from Fury, the Mutsnuts and Hypertech all within about 2 seconds of each other, 2.5 down the straight. Gary leads from Fury, and Gary a master of the wet, won his first championship at Monza in the wet season 1 of Project Cars, but it's Fury, the current GT4 championship leader and the PS5 GT3 championship leader, who leads the way. All the experience Fury will have from Donny from the track walks he's done this year. He'll be absolutely looking forward to this. Gary just a little on the grass then through the exit of the old hairpin as they come up towards McLean's now. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 pretty much for the lead here. Hypertech just dropping off the back and Fury now hassling the back of this Porsche 991. And Gary will want the Mutsnuts stand to really get on the rear end of Fury as he's pulling out now to have a look into Coppice. The cameraman's not picked him up and he doesn't get the move done. I thought it looked a little squirrely when Joe pulled out there.
He did indeed, and he's looking a little bit squirrely on exit. That gives the Mutsnuts a half an opportunity to try and come back at Fury towards the chicane. We'll get it done there. He'll have to get it done in Melbourne hairpin, but they've worked their way through chicane. I think the tyre barriers are already long gone. They don't really weigh anything, so they're not a problem, unlike R Factor 2, where they just don't move like Project Cars 2.
Brilliant.
But the Mutsnuts sending it!
He's had a dive at the Melbourne hairpin there. It's gone horribly wrong for him.
I think that was a miss of his brakes, if anything.
He's had a look. It's not stuck, and Hypertech back in this, but Fury well avoided there, because that could have been a bad disaster for Fury there if he'd have been wiped out by the Mutsnuts who missed his brakes.
Well, the more these guys too busy racing one another, this is allowing Daz. Hypertech goes fastest now. This is allowing Daz and Smoky Devil to slowly work their way back onto the top group as well. But Gary still trying to hang in there. He's just got to put his car in all the right places. That Porsche, very slow in a straight line, but fantastic in the traction zones. And that's all we need. Oh, Fury had a snap going down the corners.
That was a huge moment for Fury, a heart-in-mouth moment, if you will, for Joe. He'd have definitely lifted off the power there. The M4, a stable car, but it doesn't look as stable as the Porsche. Through the crater curves, back up towards McLean for the 4th time in this race. Mutsnuts and Hypertech trying to get back involved on this front battle here. And the more Gary holds Fury, the more the Mutsnuts can come into play. Fury over the curb again, and he really just doesn't get the traction. Daz is wide in the background. This could allow Smoky Devil to get through. No, not close enough. Down to PN, who's within a second of the Crazy Duckhead. Not close enough, though, to have a look at. We'll go back to Fury and Gary. The Cranky Duckhead, apologies. We'll go back to Fury and Gary, because this is an absolute fantastic bit of racing here. Fury is chucking it all over the curbs.
Smokey's alongside Daz. Daz chops his nose coming into the braking zone, and they managed to work their way through the chicane, but Daz has gone wide. That's going to give Smokey a run up towards Melbourne hairpin.
It is indeed. Smokey pulls to the inside now and has a look.
Oh,
They're going to come down to Melbourne hairpin. Gary's had a twitch. Back to leaders. Fury side by side. We'll come back to Fury to Smokey in just a moment. Does Gary hang on around the outside? I think he's going to. Smokey is still side by side as well. Gary keeps the job done on Fury. Fury, you've got to wake up earlier in the morning to cut back on Gary. 131. Back to Smoky Devil then. He did get the move. He did managed to get the move done on Daz at the Melbourne hairpin, so he is ahead of Daz, and Gary still hanging on in there from Fury, who's going around the outside of Red Gate of Turn 1 as they come towards Hollywood, the little right-hand king. Fury round the outside takes the lead of this race.
Wet car in line, that is. More grip on the outside, and Fury found the grip, found the confidence, and around he went. The only way he would have got Gary 131 was just outsmarting him, and he managed to do so there, as Gary still trying to find a way past on Fury now as they head towards up Old Hairpin and into the tricky end of the circuit. But Fury, beautiful move around the outside in turn 1. Can he now keep it facing the right way and not make a mistake again?
Yeah, can he keep it the right way and start to pull away from Gary 131? So it's Fury from Gary, the Mutsnuts Hypertech, who is the fastest man on the circuit in terms of the fastest lap time so far. Smoky Devil has dropped Daz automatic. Daz, little wide again then. Monkey Boy could try and gain on him as the cranky duckhead. PM Motorsport, DJ Phil Dean and Alpha Co CB, who must have had a mistake somewhere. He's way down the pack. But Fury now, Dan, is going to be in that zone where he was in Imola, where he can just sail off into that sunset as it's literally setting at Donington Park. He's in the right position to be, but we see that BMW is very, very twitchy so far.
Yeah, but Fury likes a twitchy car. He likes a loose car, so it's kind of his driving style, really. So if you see it going sideways, I don't really think that's the issue. He seems to hate a car that has understeer. Oversteer is not the problem. It's understeer that seems to upset him, as he's got very deep in the hairpin again. But it seems to work for him. He gets the traction and gets a good exit and pulls away from Gary once again. So now Gary is holding everyone else up.
He is indeed. Fury sets the fastest lap of the race once again, and Hypertech's now within half a second of the Mutts Nuts. Great showing from Hypertech tonight so far. I know we're only 10 minutes into this race, but good pace in free practice and good race pace at the moment.
Yep, like I said, he likes to remind me every time that he beat me at Donington in the wet, and here he is fighting for the top three. But he needs to find a way past the Mutts Nuts and Gary to get himself in a good position, because I don't really think he's got the pace to catch Fury. But Fury is sometimes his worst enemy. He does make the silly mistakes on his own, but we'll see how he gets on with no one pressurising him now. He's pulling away from Gary quite easily.
He is indeed. Down to DJ Phil, who's coming down through the crane of curves now.
Smokey's at the moment.
Oh, up to Smokey. Where's he gone? He's dropped. Did you see what happened, Dan?
No, I just got down to the old hairpin and he was already losing a lot of pace to Daz, and Daz has got back past him.
Yeah, so Daz back through, Monkey Boy on the rear. Back down to DJ Phil then in that Lamborghini Evo. He's not in the newer version of the Lamborghini, but I tell you what, he qualified P4. He's already passed Dean and Alpha Co CB. He's back into P10. He's hunting down after PM Motorsport. He's within 1.9 seconds. DJ Phil seems like he's got a bit of pace here in the wet of Donington Park.
Yeah, the Lamborghini is quite good in the wet in general. I mean, I raced it a couple of seasons ago, and in the wet, it wasn't that bad. It's an alright car in general. It's just a little bit, when it does go and snaps on you, it's very difficult to catch. But all round a good car, the Lamborghini. But I believe the Evo 2 is just obviously a more improved version, as the Mutts Nuts is on the inside of Gary, but Gary gets the traction and the run out the final corner to stay in front. Fury has already built that gap. He's lapping probably 3.5 seconds a lap faster than the guys behind him.
He is indeed. Gary just a little wide at Redgate as Daz there and Smokey Devil close to each other. Monkey Boy's gaining on these two in the background. And these two all over the start-finish straight. Smokey one side, Daz the other. And Daz, you just see them hit like a puddle or something on the track. Just twitchy under braking there for Daz. And he manages to keep it going at the moment. Phil's lost out a bit of time to PM Motorsport, who's kind of the back half of the field. He's in a little spread out train, if you will, a couple of seconds between everybody, but it's Gary and the Mutts Nuts having a fantastic fight here so far. Really are having a great little squabble here. Is Gary and the Mutts Nuts. It is great to see him. Gary on his 300th race. He's probably really enjoyed himself out there.
Yeah, he has indeed. He did. I think he said to us that he wanted to drive the new Porsche, but he didn't have the pack installed, so you have to wait to get it. But either way, he's doing a fine job in the old one, keeping the new version behind him. I believe though the Mutts Nuts might have a little bit of damage to his car after the contact with Daz.
Yeah, possibly so. We'll have to see what happens.
Hypertech's gone
through
deep
here. He's gone very deep across the gravel trap. Daz nowhere near. He started to pull away from
PN's also gone off
again. Where is PN? That is McLean's. And has he lost out to DJ Phil? Yeah, no, he was. Sorry, it was just before McLean. So he's lost out to DJ Phil as well there. So DJ Phil now running in P9. So DJ Phil now on a comeback drive. He's 7.7 off the back of the cranky duckhead. We'll see what he can do here. Mutts Nuts though still within 8/10 to Gary. But once again, Gary just driving his own little typical race here and doing what he needs to. Now the gap has come down between Gary and Fury. So did Fury have a bit of a bad last lap in terms of a mistake somewhere? But Gary has brought that gap down. So somewhere on that last lap, Gary has got a little bit closer.
Well, the thing is, especially Gary and Fury, they've not been in this session. Like, this session goes live at 7 o'clock, so these boys get invited into the session and they get to assess the conditions and figure out what's what. Now, maybe Fury's cooked his wets already. It's very easy for them to do that. But Gary and Fury
down to 1.7, Dan.
they don't have a setup really in place for these conditions. Meanwhile, the Mutt's Nuts was in the practice session, and he's dialed his car in, so he's looking very good in that P3 position. While Hypertech, meanwhile, just behind him in the new Ferrari, just minding his own business. Yes, he's gone a little bit wide at the chicane of the S's, but he is slowly working his way back to these guys, and if they start scrapping all three of them again, he'll be back in it. Smoky Devil has got past Daz as he's gone wide at McLean's again, and it's now just inviting Monkey Boy back. Smoky Boy.
All of them. He's invited all of them back into play here. The Mutt's Nuts within 3/10 of Gary, as Fury's now opened that gap back up 4 more tenths. And so Fury just struggled a little bit on these last 2 laps. Gary has brought that gap down 1.2 over the last 2 laps, but Mutt's Nuts now here to play, as DJ Phil's got the gap down to 6.9 to the Cranky Duckhead. So DJ Phil is gaining on the Honda. And you just wonder, Hypertech just started to drop off the back of this top 3 podium, so he's got good pace, but just starting to drop off the top 3 as Fury really giving it his all in this race at the moment. Gap down again to 1.70. Gary in that final sector actually pulled away from the Mutt's Nuts by 7 tenths and gains on Fury by about 4 more tenths. So it's just ebbing and flowing at the minute. Evening in the chat to Fury's granddad, Paolo Enrique, Micro J's, PM Motorsport, Benedict Morga and Docking Bay 94. Good evening to you all. Hope you're all well. And what a race we have in store.
You want to talk about matching lap times earlier in qualifying?
Whoa, big snap. Sorry, Dan. Gary into the old hairpin, gets it all out of shape, and that is horrible for him. The Mutt's Nuts has sailed through, and Gary 131 tumbles down to 3rd. Dan, apologies.
Yeah, Fury's last lap was a 40.5, while the rest of them behind him were doing 39s. Gary did his fastest lap that lap, and then he's had a moment behind. Now he's behind the Mutt's Nuts, but we're talking about lap times being identical. DJ Phil and Cranky Duckhead have both got the same fastest lap as one another, but at the minute, DJ Phil is lapping much faster. He's 6 tenths a lap faster than him.
Daz Automatic off on the exit to McLean's. Monkey Boy up the inside. Thank you, Mama Further Carrots, P7. Good evening to our old face in the chat. Disco Face, good evening to yourself. So DJ Phil at the minute, 6 tenths a lap faster than the Cranky Duckhead. You have to say DJ Phil, Dan, we were surprised he got P4 in the qualifying. He's really got pace tonight in this Lamborghini.
He has indeed, and I think as well, a lot of these boys probably have their settings different, and I think DJ Phil prefers to have the stability quite strong, so he's able to keep the car on track a little bit better, which if it helps him, then fair enough. But for some of these guys, they like the pure racing experience, and they like to have everything turned off. So we'll see how they get on as the Mutt's Nuts comes up towards turn 1 on my screen, and he's trying to bring that gap down to Fury, but Daz really struggling now in the McLaren. He seems to just keep falling backwards.
Yeah, he is really struggling. He's lost out to Monkey Boy by some good couple of takes. In fact, he's lost a second in the last sector, so Dad's struggling. I wonder if he's got damage on his car that is costing him to struggle. He's got the Cranky Duckhead within 3.7, and then you look behind you, there's DJ Phil, who's 6.2 to the Cranky Duckhead, so really trying to gain some pace here. Fury leads this race then from the Mutt's Nuts with Gary and Hypertech, your top 4. Fury top dog nowadays. Well, yeah, in everything else bar pro, yes. Although he's in a great fight with Dan on a Monday night. If you want to see that, we'll be live tomorrow night for the GT4s. The Smoky Devil in the pits before the pit window, so he's clearly coming in for an early box. Not sure why.
Let's have a look to see what damage he's got. I'll keep an eye on him. But yeah, I've actually heard a look at the replay. That's handy.
Well, we know he had contact with Daz, who then put him into Monkey Boy as well, don't we? So we know that's a bit of damage there. So yeah, interesting to see. Gary not gaining back on the Mutt's Nuts. Mutt's Nuts managing to keep that gap, and Fury just started to nail some lap times here because he's pulling away from the Mutt's Nuts. Daz Automatic 2.6 off the back of Monkey Boy now. He's messed up the Fogarty S's like mad, and the Cranky Duckhead is going to be in hot pursuit soon. He started to gain pace over DJ Phil, so he started to pull away there then.
So just also, because this sent me quite far back, I had a quick look at race start and see what happened to the Mutt's Nuts at Daz Automatic. And Mutt's Nuts was a little bit cautious going into turn 1. And yeah, Daz just did not expect him to be braking so hard and ended up just tapping the rear of him into turn 1.
Doesn't seem to have cost the Mutt's Nuts much. compared to what it's cost Daz Automatic. Daz, that is a handful to take. Daz is dropping back like mad. Smokey's a lap down now in the pit lane, so whatever he's doing something drastic in them pits, because he's falling back quite the substantial amount, and he's going to have to pit again.
Yeah, I'm just on board with him now, and Daz looked like he had a big moment, and also Smokey himself. Daz seems to be really struggling at the minute. He's spent most of the time off, and going down the craners. Oh, he's just hit a gap in the wall.
Daz?
Oh, that's unlucky. No, Smokey.
Oh, Smokey.
As he came down, a kind of Jason Plato-esque kind of accident down the craners, and he found the only part of the wall that was sticking out, and he went straight to the pits. So he's probably locked in place. Ah,
there we go then. So he's not drove into the pits, he's locked in the pits. No. That is not what you want if you're the number 2 in the championship at the moment. This will put PM Motorsport above you so far, and Daz Automatic will possibly jump you as well. Dean not having the best race, is down in 12th in his 10th, in his Ferrari 296. Alpha Co's up to 11th. For DJ Phil, he's now got the gap down to 5.3, and Daz, who's right on the back of Monkey Boy, but misses his brakes by an absolute mile down at the Melbourne hairpin. So has the Cranky Duckhead, and he's lost the rear of the car a little bit. Here comes DJ Phil. All of a sudden, Daz has gone from 8 tenths to the back of Monkey Boy. He's now within a couple of seconds of DJ Phil. The Cranky Duckhead followed him through, and DJ Phil was 5.3. We'll see what it is at the start, but Phil could be in a perfect situation here to do something about this then. What's the gap now? Cranky Duckhead to Daz, 4.2. So Daz has lost pretty much 3 seconds. DJ Phil, 1.7. So Phil at the minute on an absolute charge. As Cranky Duckhead makes a few mistakes, he is now starting to come through the pack then and get some more places done in this one.
He is indeed, and we've still got 14 minutes still left to go on this race, so there's still a long way to go as the Mutt's Nuts gone very wide at Coppice, and Gary's getting closer and closer again, and this is all allowing Fury just to extend his gap down the S's.
Well, I noticed that Fury's gap's actually come down. It was up towards nearly 6 seconds a moment ago. It's now back down to 3.
He's had a moment in the S's again.
So Fury just struggling again here. He seems to have a good couple of laps, and then a couple of laps seem to go by where he just starts to struggle. So Fury at the minute, a bit hit and miss, a bit inconsistent from Joe. So we'll have to see what he can do in this race. But the gap's down to 2 seconds. Gary's gone a little wide on exit to the Melbourne hairpin.
We'll put it this way, the Mutt's Nuts has gone fastest of his session. He's now done a 39.5, while Fury's last lap was a 41.5. He's gone very wide. He's gone very, very wide in the final hairpin, and Fury now under immense pressure as the Mutt's Nuts hit just consistently banging in mid to high 39s. 41.9 he just did, Fury, while Gary and the Mutt's Nuts are in the 39s right behind him.
Yeah,
I think Gary did a 38.
It's not looking good for Fury at the moment. Smokey Devil's clear the pits. Hypertech's in the pits, but the pit window is now open, so he'll be in and out looking for an undercut maybe. As here they all come down through the craner curves.
Oh, Gary's gone wide.
Yeah, was he on the grass a little bit there? Now he's back, sorted it out. It is Fury though, whose BMW M4 is dancing across the track here, and he's not looking the best car at the moment out of the top 3. The Mutt's Nuts, like Dan says, is really being more consistent than Fury. Seems to have a good couple of laps, and then a bad couple of laps. Daz Automatic in the pits. Will that be to repair damage to Daz? I wonder. Change your tyres, no, but a repair damage, yes. 16.9 seconds, Daz is going to be in the pits. That'll cost him in this race, it really will. As that sounds like we've got a spinner somewhere. Yep, car 12, Alpha Kosibi, facing the wrong way on the Simplay straight. Looks like he's had a big moment.
Looks like he has indeed, and he's managed to stay out of the way of the leaders. Meanwhile, DJ Phil, he's up on his lap time, and he's had a moment. He's had a moment going through old hairpin.
He's pushing.
DJ Phil, he is pushing. He's pushing quite hard, and I just noticed his traction control sat at 3 as well. So
come on, Phil.
With them. I'm on board with the driver kind of view, so I can see the lap times and everything. And Phil's pushing. He's pushing hard.
He is pushing hard. One man who's pushing hard as well is Gary 131, who is gaining on the back of the Mutt's Nuts. Mutt's Nuts a little deeper than Gary at Gollards. Gary has a look up the inside now. Good run from then the Mutt's Nuts out the final corner to stay ahead of Gary 131, who's now looking up the inside, coming down toward Dreadgate. But that Porsche 992 just a bit better in a straight line than Gary's. Tan, what was DJ Phil doing now?
Oh, he was just hanging it sideways, complete sideways, and Yeah, DJ Phil's really pushing as Fury's had another moment in turn one, and it's allowing the two Porsches to cut. He's touched the curb quite heavy there. Oh, the rear end of that BMW is not looking happy at the minute. Oh, he's gone wide. Gary's gone really wide.
Gary's gone really wide. That'll put to bed then any chance at the Nuts at the moment. Fury's on the grass, coming up the hill towards McLean's. He's got to be careful. Oh. He's all over the place. A big twitch for Fury there. And his BMW, he's really pushing this BMW M4 to the limit. And it is Fury from the Nuts from Gary. 3 for the lead. Monkey Boy's now in. DJ Phil is now in. And Smokey Devil still in the pits as well. There you see, Smokey Devil is now away. Monkey Boy stationary. DJ Phil is now... In fact, no, did Monkey Boy get his stop? Yes, he did. DJ Phil is now away as well. Dean's not even round the final corner. And all this has happened. Monkey Boy is going to... DJ Phil is now going to jump Daz because Daz repaired the damage in the pits. Phil comes out the pits, P7.
Yeah. That's, we're getting into this part of this race where most of these guys would be sitting there trying to figure out what they're going to do strategy-wise. Yeah. Because at the minute... Fury is still leading at this stage, but he is really struggling. And I think the problem is the Mudnuts and Gary get close every now and then they start to make the same mistakes Fury makes. So one of them has to bail, and it is the one of Gary who's deciding to bail. And Mudnuts still quicker that lap, but we'll see what he'll do. As Gary, obviously the first time he's raced PS5 here, so will he know that he doesn't have to necessarily change tyres or add fuel?
I did fill him in earlier that it was just stop in the box and go. You don't have to change tyres or anything. We've lost Smokey Devil from this race, but at the minute it is Fury from the Nuts. Gary's P3 in the pits. He's now away, so it's a pretty quick stop from Gary, the cranky duckhead, who's about to try and lap Alpha Co. CB. He's still got to pit. Alpha comes into the pits as Gary exits pit lane now, ahead of the cranky duckhead. No problems there. Hypertech is in 5th place. Monkey Boy 6th with DJ Phil. Look at DJ Phil. 3.1 off the back of Monkey Boy. He's hunting him down.
Yeah, slowly but surely he will be hunting him down, but he's looking very good in these conditions, in that Lamborghini as well. So DJ Phil on a roll at the minute.
On a roll indeed at the minute. He's doing absolutely wonderful things. Is DJ Phil really putting the pressure onto Monkey Boy then as the Nuts 1.8 behind. Down the start straight they come. 2.8 is the gap. She's brought the gap down a little bit more. Dean decides to stay out on the track this time around as well, and Fury and the Nuts as Fury breaks in towards the Melbourne hairpin. He's wide, he's so wide, he's very wide of the Melbourne hairpin. Where's the Nuts? Tucks underneath, takes the lead of this race down. Mistake from Fury again, and the Nuts leads.
He's going to come back down the inside of the final hairpin, but remember, Fury, you've still got half the race to go, so you can come back at him. They're all making mistakes. It's whoever makes the least amount of mistakes, and the Nuts who put it on pole is finally back at the front.
He is indeed. Gary 131 then. Will this help him with these two fighting in terms of getting that undercut maybe to work? Are these two going to go even longer now?
They won't know how quick his stop was. Yeah, so
exactly.
They got to try and figure things out between themselves. And then Gary, meanwhile, has got clean air. He can do his own thing. As long as he doesn't make any mistakes, he will be able to hunt these guys down. And I can look at the times. The times ebbing and flowing between 40 seconds and 35. So he is thereabouts. And there's Fury. Oh.
Yeah, he's having a look. He had another moment there. Then a big wiggle as he come through the left-hander up the hill towards McLean's. Fury just wiggling ever so slightly here and there.
Oh, that's nuts.
Where's Gary on the track? He's coming through Hollywood now, down the crane of curves. Fury's looking up the inside at Coppice. Nuts to the outside of Coppice. Gary 30 seconds behind. Fury's back in the lead. Big slide on the exit of Coppice. There they go down the Simplay straight. I believe the M4 is in front. It is in front. Who is the yellow flag? It's Daz Automatic.
They can't overtake. The Nuts just had an overtaking opportunity taken away from him from Daz Automatic. So
and we lose Daz.
Flag, and we've lost Daz. Oh, we're losing drivers left, right and center. Come on, people. Get it together. Get yourselves in the race and finish these races.
Yeah, finish the race. That's no points and potentially a quali ban next week for Snetterton, the night race for Gary here, though, while these two are having a little squabble as Fury just pulls a little bit ahead of the Nuts at the moment. We're down to 10 then, so Fury pulls ahead so far, and they both stay out on track. Gary's got the gap down to 29.25 seconds here. Now, normally, on a midweek race, or in the GT4s, GT3s on the PS4 version, it would be a minimum of 30 seconds pit stop. So we'd assume Gary would be in the lead of this race. Well, not here. As the time ticks by, it's now 8:30 in the evening here at Donington Park. Literally, actually. Well worked out, that. It is literally 8:30 in the evening here, on track and in real life in the UK. And it is Fury, a big moment to get out the old hairpin, who leads from the Mutsnuts. Gary's in third, Cranky Duckhead fourth, with Hypertech fifth. DJ Phil, who has passed Monkey Boy. Phil is in P6.
Oh, God. Phil is flying. Phil is flying. Look at the boy go.
Go on, DJ Phil.
All he needed was some wet weather, and here he is.
Yeah. Wow. And it's wet for Nürburgring, so let's see what he can do Pro-Am on Wednesday night.
I think Fury's had another moment. Nope. There was just the change of camera.
Yeah, no.
Mutsnuts currently 3/10 up on his fastest, possibly 4/10 by the end of this lap, so he is flying at the minute, but Fury and Mutsnuts are too busy squabbling with one another. It was about 40 to 30 seconds between them and Gary. Right, Gary's now brought it down to about 30
I think it was 25
seconds. It's ebbing and flowing between them now.
It really is.
Gary's coming.
Gary is coming, and Gary looks like he's a man on a mission. He's got clear track in front of him.
Well,
nobody to worry about. Fury's coming up to lap PM Motorsport. Dean's in the pits. Alpha Co can leave the pits. He's still stationary at the moment. Where is Fury? Round Goddard's now. Doesn't box. Mutsnuts doesn't either.
These two are just going to keep holding themselves up, and Gary right now, I would say, is in the pound seat. As long as he's done everything correct and he's got everything set up correctly, I reckon Gary's the one to watch here.
Yeah, I agree.
As I'm sticking to the Mutsnuts as he goes down the craners, and that BMW is loose indeed. And Monkey Boy also struggling with the rear end of his Porsche. It seems like the old Porsche is actually more stable than the new one.
Yeah, it does a little bit, and I'm getting this feeling from the Lamborghini Evo with DJ Phil that he seems a lot more stable than these newer cars. That he's just able to be a bit quicker through the corners, because he's now gapped Monkey Boy to 1.4 seconds.
I think Fury's managed to do a Lewis Hamilton-esque kind of thing and just burn out those wets. He's now on fastest laps. He's done a 38.2 was his last lap, and he's now matching his fastest lap, which was a 37.6.
Has Gary made a mistake somewhere? 'Cause it's gone from 29.2 to 31.8. So I wonder if Gary's just made a small little mistake somewhere. Now, the interesting thing for DJ Phil is his car 31 is around. That is the Cranky Duckhead. Down out. Where's that? That's the old hairpin. He's had a spin. He was in a fight with DJ Phil, and he's yet to pit. DJ Phil comes through Redgate, so DJ Phil could be running P5 here after the Cranky Duckhead makes his pit stop.
Possibly
DJ
so.
Phil for the podium.
I think that's going to be a tall ass, to be fair. If Gary sat in P3, then I reckon these boys have just got a little bit over as Fury crosses the line. 38.1. Mutsnuts tries to respond with a 38.9. Gary not even in the 38s, he's still in the 39. So I think Gary's just losing general pace on the leaders now. Now they've sorted themselves out. Yeah, but we've seen Fury, he can build himself a good gap, and then has a moment which costs him all that time, and it really brings Gary back into play. He's got 8 seconds over Hypertech. Cranky Duckhead through the fog at TS as DJ Phil exits Coppice. He's pulling slowly away from Monkey Boy as well, so Monkey Boy cannot stick with DJ Phil at the moment. It's been a great race for the Lamborghini. We're down to 10. We've lost Smokey Devil, and we've lost Daz Automatic as well. So down to 10 drivers. It's a shame they haven't finished the race. Obviously, points up for grabs. Them two will probably have to serve a qualifying ban now for Snetterton, which, as we know, is a tight, twisty circuit in the best of times. And it's a night race. That's going to be hard from them two coming from the back. Fury's flying now. He's currently 2/10 up on his fastest at this stage. So Cranky Duckhead is now in the pits. But he's just lost it all in the chicane, but he's then gained it all back. But Fury, I think now, unless the Mutsnuts has got some form of pace that's come out of nowhere, I really don't see him making a threat. It's now deciding what Fury does about his pit stop. That's the question, because Gary obviously pitted and didn't change anything. He's got clean air. His last lap was a 42.3, and his lap times have been 39, so Gary's lost a heck of a lot of time. And he's again 5 seconds down here, so he's lost even more time.
So Gary really struggling at the moment. Mutsnuts and Fury both stay out. They are the last two to pit here and are pushing this till the very, very end. DJ Phil has cleared Monkey Boy by 3 seconds. Cranky Duckhead came out the pits P7. Pien's only at the start line. He's been consistent this year, but not consistent enough tonight in this season for him to score well. Although with Smokey Devil and Daz Automatic retiring from this race, Pien's next closest driver then is Dean, who he's outscoring and is some 10 points clear of the Cranky Duckhead. Cranky Duckhead's only the place in front, so he's not going to gain 10 points here. So PN could be second in the championships after tonight's race.
Possibly so. PN looking good at the minute. So Fury really seems to have it under control at this stage. No one really giving him a threat. Gary has crossed the line. He has done his fastest lap that last lap. So the 38.8, he's now finally in the 38s, and it's taken him a while. But Fury, last lap, 37.7. He's 1.1 faster than Gary. So at this stage, Fury has fought his way through that tyre, probably like lull that he had. Oh, he's at the moment on the curve, though.
Jeez, through the fog of TS's. Fury there getting a little sideways on exit, is it? And the fog of TS's, by the way, a very tricky part of the circuit because it dips just as you're going through the middle part of the corner, so a very tricky part to get right. Probably where Fury lost a lot of his time there and that back end came out. Remember being there in real life this year, seeing a few of the Formula 4 cars just step the rear end out a little bit as they hit the dip and bumped off the floor. Fury now gaining on the back of the Cranky Duckhead, who will be a lap down in P7, and Fury bails into the pit lane. And one thing to mention about this pit lane, Dan, what's happened to the Mutsnuts actually? He's 11.7 behind.
I'm going to try and find him if I can.
He's coming into the pit.
Damage.
He has. He's hit something. Gary could be in the box seat here. One thing to mention about the pit lane at Donington Park is it is such a short run. You're coming back onto the power as you exit the hairpin, and it is a short run to that pit entry line.
Fury stopped, and Gary is in the final corner.
Fury's changing tyres.
Oh, this should be interesting. Fury will have he will have grip. I mean, Gary now on his own. He's doing
Mutsnuts is away.
Yeah, Mutsnuts is gone. Has he just repaired the damage then? But Gary 131 now leads this race.
Race. Has a heck of a gap as well, by the way. Hypertech's coming. Is Hypertech going to jump Fury here? Is Fury just lost 3 places? He has.
He has, yeah. The thing is now, he has to clear these 3 cars.
Yeah.
So he's opted for fresh tyres, which again is not the it's not the end of the world. It's probably a good thing in these wet conditions, but it's a lot of work to overtake these cars. If we were at somewhere like Spa or Monza,
good long circuit,
or circuits like that where there's overtaking opportunities, but here at Donington it's very difficult.
It is very difficult, and this is the interesting thing for me is I mean, fresh rubber, get that, especially in the wets. He probably burnt up a lot of that rubber by sliding across the tarmac and just taking the top surface of rubber off the tyres. But Fury opting for them fresher boots then. Not only has he got to get them up to temperature and up to pressures, he's now got to gain 3.5 seconds on Hypertech. He's then going to gain 8.2 on the Mutsnuts and over 6 seconds to Gary 131. So Gary on his 300th race, sitting in the box seat for a race win. It would only be race win number 30 for Gary 131. 2-time champ, 29 race wins. It's been a while since he won a race. In fact, to tell you the last race when he had GT4, Kyle Army, race 2, beginning of this season.
I'll tell you what. The one other problem that Fury might be having is pressures. If he hasn't set his pressures correctly, with the short amount of practice and qualifying that he had, he might be in trouble here. But I don't know what the I mean, you can set the PS5 pressures up pretty quickly by matching them to your setup, but on the PS4 version, you have to manually put them in. So I don't know how well he's set his car up, but Gary still leads. He's got a comfortable gap of 20-odd seconds to the Mutsnuts. So it could be a Porsche 1-2 at the minute with a Ferrari on the final step of the podium. But Fury really needs to clear Hypertech pretty quickly. He
does need to clear him pretty quickly. Fastest lap will be going the way of Fury. It's 1.2 seconds. The gap, Hypertech to Fury, and Hypertech won't want to give away this podium. Obviously, he's fought with yourself, Dan, this season for podiums. He's fought with Sutty as well for podiums. There's Kelly and Daz Automatic. Fury here, the pro driver, what can he do? And this is what we like about the Sunday League, is it is a mixture of the classes from the PS4 leagues of Pro, Pro-Am and Am. As Fury's on the grass here, going up the hill, has to back out of it, just cannot get past Hypertech at the moment, who's put his car in exactly all the right places. And Fury looking each way till Sunday to get past, but cannot do it. Now is he going to have a look into Coppis? No, I believe he backed out of that as the camera pans round. Yeah, Hypertech parking it on the apex. While these two are squabbling, the Hypertech is now 8.4 behind the Much Nuts. Gary has found 1.5 seconds over the Much Nuts. The gap's now 7.7. Gary cruising out front at the moment.
That's all he has to do. He just needs to keep it on the black stuff, and if he doesn't go off or go wide, then he's fine. You know, so Gary is doing everything he can with all the experience that he has here at Simplay Motorsport. You know, the OG pro champion in a Porsche, and most of it is in the wet. Fury's now overtaken the Hypertech into Melbourne Hairpin. He gets a good exit as well, but I don't really think Hypertech was really going to give him much of a hard time, as he's right on the rear, and I don't think he's going to try it into the final hairpin either. So Gary at the minute is doing everything he needs to do, as is the Much Nuts. They have a comfortable gap, and Fury's got to do some mammoth lap times now. Mammoth lap times.
7.5 Much Nuts to Fury then, and then it's another 8.8 to Gary 131. Gary, who's been absolutely fantastic, really. He battled hard in the early stages of this race, and now he's being able to be rewarded. He's 9.1 ahead of the Much Nuts, so he's just gaining over the Much Nuts hand over fist at the minute. And Fury has got a lot of work to do then. Hypertech dropped right off the back of Fury. DJ Phil still running P5. Monkey Boy's trying to bring that gap back down to DJ Phil. 1.4 is the gap. It's 1.2 as they cross the line. So the Porsche 992 and Monkey Boy just trying to get in on the back of DJ Phil.
I'll keep an eye on lap times. Fury at the minute is up on his fastest at this stage. The Much Nuts at the minute is only possibly 8 seconds up the road from him, so he is slowly gaining on him. I think he's going to be 2 seconds faster this lap, his previous lap, which was a 39.5, so he'll be back in the 37s, but 15 seconds to make up in 20 minutes. That's a tall order to ask, especially
it's nearly
from
a
the
second.
He's really not scared of the curbs. He's launched it over the chicane.
Fury's really got to be careful here, because as we saw in that first stint down with the tyres, it was, you know, couple of laps great, couple of laps really, really bad. And if he has them bad laps, you know, it's going to hurt him. 9.4 to the Much Nuts and Gary, plus another 5.3 back to Fury. That is around 15 seconds. Like Dan says, in 21 minutes, that is a tall order for Fury. It's just under a second a lap. He's got to take out to Gary. And as we know, catching's one thing, passing's another. By the time he gets to Gary, as DJ Phil absolutely straight line the Fogarty. Yes, as Dan, sorry, what was you saying?
Sorry, the Much Nuts, 41.1 last lap. Fury, 37.4.
Flying.
Fastest lap of the session.
Flying is Fury then at the moment. Gap's down to 3.7. There you go to Gary, 10.5. Did Much Nuts repair damage, though? We don't believe he did. He had some front end. We don't believe he repaired it, because it was a quick stop for the Much Nuts.
Possibly not, but at the same time, he's got to fight hard now. If Fury gets a sniff of an opportunity, he needs, whether or not, if he wants to help Gary or not, he needs to try and hold Fury up as much as possible. But Gary at the minute running smooth and consistent out front. What was his last lap time? A 39.7. So, and he's currently up on his best at the minute. So
Gary a second slower than Fury at the minute.
2 seconds a lap slower, because he did a 37.4. Gary's 39.7. So Fury at the minute 2.2 seconds a lap faster at this stage.
Well, at the minute, Gary 11.9 clear of the Much Nuts, Fury 2.5 behind. To add them 5 tenths on, you're looking at 12.5 seconds plus the 2. So Fury's about 14.5 seconds behind Gary. Cranky Duckhead back in the pits. Not sure why PN gets past him. Dean might get past him, as might Alpha Co's a couple of laps down. So PN moves up to P7. DJ Phil now re-gaps Smoke Monkey Boy to 1.7 seconds. Phil is charging out there, but it's Fury who's the real charger, who is getting closer to the back of the Much Nuts then. What's the gap? It was 2.5 at the Sector 2 down the Simplay straight. It's 0.8 tenths of a second, and he's got the gap at about just under 14 seconds to Gary 131 as well.
41.6, 38.6. There you go, there's the lap times, and Fury is on the charge. 3 seconds a lap faster than the Much Nuts at this stage, so he's probably struggling with damage and tyres at this stage. So He's got to make that Porsche as wide as possible because Fury is coming, and Gary's got to be hoping that the other Porsche driver is holding him up as long as possible.
Well, Porsche down to 4th on the all-time wins list now, behind Lamborghini last week. They'll look to tie with Lamborghini here tonight. BMW will look for its 30th race when they go within 8 of the Bentley. If Fury can do it, Fury looks to pull out on the nuts. They come up towards Coppice. He backs out by, excuse me, brakes a little early and backs out that one. Fury hangs on in there. Oh, he's got a great run through Coppice. Or even across the grass, he's got a good run. Now who's got the straight line speed? Fury versus the Nuts. Nuts will have the inside line coming into the Foggy Tiestas. Fury is not going to yield this. He's going to try and go right around the outside and does so. Great move, Fury.
He's a little bit twitchy on exit though, a little bit twitchy, but the Nuts may look into their hairpin now, and great respect from the pair of them. The fact that they could both go through there side by side in wet conditions in the evening in 9 degrees temperature.
Yep.
That's just crazy. Great racing there.
Yeah, great racing indeed. The cranky duckhead, excuse me, gaining on Dean for 8th and 9th. We'll keep our eyes on that one, but Fury now, watch the gap to Gary, because this is crucial. 13.1 in 17 minutes.
Well, Fury that lap 38.9, Gary a 39.5. So
6 tenths.
As Alpha's had another moment off, he is off at the top of the far end of the circuit. Yeah, he's had a moment at McLean's, and PN goes through. But DJ Phil P5 at the minute. Cracking
race for DJ Phil. As we're watching the cranky duckhead try and take on Dean down the Craner curves towards the old hairpin here at Donington Park in the East Midlands. Honda versus Ferrari then. So Fury 12.6 with 16 minutes left. The thing for Joe is he knows how tough Gary will be to defend around this circuit. And Gary, by the time Joe gets on the back of him, will only have a handful of laps to defend.
It's not just that though, is it? Fury will have the grip, he'll have the confidence, and it'll be a lighter car, so he will not be getting as much tyre damage either. Same with Gary, the car's lighter, it won't be taking as much damage with the tyres, so possibly Gary may or may not have enough in hand, but it all depends on what grip is left.
It all depends on what grip is left. It all depends if Joe starts to have them moments again where he, you know, just starts to lose a bit of pace in the car and starts to lose a little bit in the car then. As we're watching currently Cranky Duckhead and Dean's battle down for 8th and 9th. They've got Hypertech who's about to lap them. And Fury's already got the Much to 3.1. Do we think Hypertech 8.5 behind the Much Nuts? If Much Nuts carrying damage could do something about that?
I'm not sure. It all depends if the Much Nuts could keep that consistency. A 39.5 Fury, fastest lap of the race, 37.2. Those fresh tyres are working beautifully, but he's got wide at turn 1.
Yeah,
there's
so
those mistakes.
They're 2 seconds gained. He's now just lost a lot. And Dean then, by the way, Dean...
Sorry, the lap times are dropping big time. He just went wide at turn 1, and he's lost 1.5 seconds just from turn 1.
So there we go. So all that work, he's basically gained half a second on the last lap. Dean, by the way, let Hypertech through on the start straight. While doing so, Cranky Duckhead capitalised on that and also got past Dean, and then the Cranky Duckhead let Hypertech go at turn 1 and gets 8th place. So good tactical driving that from the Honda driver, but you're right. Fury, as good as it was to do, by the way, and Much Nuts has pulled away from Hypertech, so that's not going to happen really. As good as it was to do the fastest lap of the race, this stage of the race, he's then just ruined it by going so deep at turn 1 that he's gave Gary the time back. And it's them little mistakes, Dan, that when you're giving Gary the time back, he's going to cost you, because them 2 seconds he's gained would have put him within striking distance with about 6 minutes left to go. That's going to hurt him again here.
Yeah, definitely, and Fury cannot be making these mistakes. He needs to be squeaky clean. Yes, he's lost 1.5 on that first corner, but he needs. It doesn't matter if he's doing 37.2s. He needs to be doing possibly a high 37. Because he can see the lap times Gary's doing. Because obviously the view I've got, ladies and gentlemen, can show me what these guys' the lap times are doing as they cross the line. So Gary could. Fury can see him up ahead. So Gary, that last lap at 39.9. Fury's come around the final corner. All he has to do is lap 2 seconds a lap faster, and he'll get there. The lap time was a 39.0. So he was still 9 tenths faster than Gary. But he has got traffic of Alpha now to clear. But Fury, he's just possibly maybe pushing a little bit too hard. Yes, possibly.
overdriving the car. He's got Alpha to clear. I believe he's cleared Alpha. Alpha's let him go. So good respect there from Alpha to let the leader go. 9.4 is the gap with 13 minutes remaining on the clock. Fury flying at Donington Park at the minute. Tony, his granddad, in the chat saying great racing. It really is at the minute. And what racing? It's been 13 and a half minutes. It's Gary from Fury. Then it's the Mutt's Nuts who is dropping back. He's still pulling away from Hypertech with DJ Phil running P5. He has dropped Monkey Boy. That gap is 3.8. PM Motorsport running in a lonely P7 back there. He's got Gary coming up to him. Cranky Duckhead from Dean from Alpha Co. down in 10th place. But it is Fury, fastest lap of the race at the moment, and is hunting down Gary 131. And what's the gap as he comes through the second sector timing beam? It's down to 8.9 seconds then. So it's about, you know, 0.6 of a second a lap. Bit of a wiggle through the foggy TSs again, and it's just them twitches
that every time.
Well then, probably not costing him as much as he'd like.
Well, currently right now he's matching his fastest lap.
So there we go then. So no, it's not hurting him at all. Looks bad, but not hurting him at all. Fury 8.9. He needs about, 0.6 of a second a lap to gain on Gary at this point? 6 to 8 tenths?
Yeah, he does. And at the minute, Gary, last lap, 40.3. So the tyres are now starting to affect Gary as he's struggling for grip. Has he got his fuel right? That's another question. But Fury is starting to come back at him in some fashion as well. But once he gets there, he needs to get past them, and he needs to stop having these silly errors, because if he does have one big error, then he's got to do not just the Mutt's Nuts, he might have to pass Hypertech as well. Hypertech was actually the second fastest of the top 4. Fury obviously fastest of 37, and Hypertech is back in the 39s, low 39s at that.
So Hypertech pulls a couple of seconds back on the Mutt's Nuts, who's just lost all pace to Fury, and that could be that front end damage that the Hypertech is struggling with in the Mutt's Nuts. Sorry, struggling with. The gap's now down to 7.8, so Hypertech charging at the moment on the Mutt's Nuts. And Fury has the gap down to 6.7 as he comes in through Coppice now. Gary 131 though leads this race, 28 laps. It's getting darker here at Donington Park, and as we can see, look, it is really just starting to get dark and dark and dark. And for Gary 131, he's driving a good race. Number 12, that is CB. Where's he off?
Alpha,
he's back on now, yeah.
So Gary's at the Melbourne hairpin. His last lap of 40.3. He's currently a tenth slower than his fastest, which was a 38.8. So if he needs to respond, he needs to respond now.
Dan,
only 10 minutes left to go.
Just saw Joe's time there, and breaking into the Melbourne hairpin. He's lost 4 tenths. He's on for another fastest lap of the race. Joe is flying at the moment.
He is indeed, but like I said, it's one thing to catch, it's another to overtake, and at the minute he's coming a 37.4. It's not his fastest lap, but Gary did a 39.4, so he's near enough where his best lap times are.
Joe's wide. He's off again. There we go.
The mistake again.
So it was 5.2 as they come down towards sector 1. What is that going to be? And Joe once again at turn 1, just pushing it too hard. He's probably got the pace with 5 seconds. The gap, he's lost 1.
Gone there.
Yeah, it's, you know, all that hard work.
2.2 seconds down on his best, and what didn't help him, well, what probably annoyed him even more was Gary did the same thing. He went wide at turn 1 and he lost 5 tenths. So Gary currently now is 1.4 off his best, as I think in the background as well, Fury is just struggling a little bit this lap, but I think he'll still be able to match Gary's lap time on this lap alone.
Well, at the minute, Fury all over the grass through corners. Big wiggle on the exit of Coppice, bouncing on the grass down the Simplay straight. Whatever Fury's doing, he is wringing the neck out this car, and he just needs to maybe calm down a little bit, because these mistakes are massively costing him.
He's straight lining that chicane.
I was going to say, the other thing he doesn't want is the chicane will give you a few track limit warnings for straight lining. You will not want it. No, fair enough then.
In the wet, I mean, we did it obviously the GT4s and the GT3s, and in the Camaro I could pretty much straight line the chicane and it would just tell me no time gained. So, but in the dry it would, you know, bend me over and tell me,
Give you a slap on the bottom.
Yeah, tell me no, naughty boy, stay within track limits.
Joe then 5.3 with 9 minutes remaining at what, 1 minute 40 a lap? We're saying 1 minute 37 a lap. Gary's got about
Oh, he's so tentative in turn one now, but when he does that, he matches his first sector, so he needs to keep doing that, and he's actually faster in his first sector. Now he's being more cautious.
He's not, no, I don't think anybody's going to beat Joe's fastest lap here. He doesn't need to go searching for lap time, he just needs to, like you said,
at the old hairpin.
Be that little bit of consistency from Joe. As Gary's cleared, who's that in between him? That is PN. Gary has such a clear track in front, but the gap's down to 4.9. And PN, look, not even hesitating, straight off the line. He does not want any part of that.
I don't want the wrath of Fury, let's put it that way.
Yes.
You do not want a furious Fury coming at you.
Well, 4.9 is the gap. Gary crosses that timing beam. Hypertech's got the gap down, by the way, to 6.6 to the Mutt's Nuts. So let's keep an eye on Hypertech in terms of closing the gap. Fury 4.5 seconds as he comes through the fog at TS's. And just motoring on his way here. Oh, Mutt's Nuts then really starting to struggle over Hypertech. He crosses that timing beam now. 14 seconds back to Fury is the Mutt's Nuts. And what is Hypertech? Has he brought that gap down anymore? Yes, he has. 6 seconds exactly. So he's on a charge here, is Hypertech.
Yeah, he wants to get himself on that podium. And I think Mutt's Nuts would he'd be kicking himself after this one.
Yeah, probably will. Hypertech will be loving the fact he could be on the podium.
39.3, Gary. Fury, 37.5.
1.8 seconds. Last lap. And look at that. Manages to get it.
He's gone deep again.
He's just costing himself. Now, that's not as big a loss for Joe. What's that, about a couple of tenths for Joe there?
No, 1.5 and he now gets down to
the
bottom
of the
green.
So he's just gained 1.8 on Gary last lap. He's now lost 1.5 through turn one. Just too much from Joe.
He's asking too much of the car, I think, and when the car says, well, no, I can't brake that late there, and it just snaps and he can't handle it, so he goes deep. He does seem to suffer with braking. Maybe it's he does have issues with his pedals. Maybe his pedals are moving?
Possibly.
I'm not sure.
Possibly then. Gap 4.7, then Joe to Gary. 5.9 is it Hypertech to Mutt's Nuts here. So at the minute, the Mutt's Nuts doing exactly what Hypertech doing what he needs to do, except he has got a motor a little more than Joe has to get on the back of the Mutt's Nuts and possibly a podium. Ferrari, not had many podiums. They are only on 53. They are currently 6 behind the Honda. And as we know, BMW 4 away from that massive 100. And if Porsche get a double podium today, well, that'll put them on 235. Second most successful car in terms of podiums, behind that of the Mercedes-Benz AMG. 5.2 the gap, 4.1 from Fury. The problem for Fury is he's starting to nearly need that 1 second a minute. Because 4.1, 6 minutes left. It's getting into that territory where he's starting to need that 1 second a minute.
Yeah, he's just, again, just like I said, he's just pushing too hard. Where he knows he's fast in some sectors, he's just pushing a little bit too hard in others. And again, turn one, he gained a little bit of time by braking later, and then obviously lost it all again. But he's up again on his best lap time. But he's got 5 minutes or less than 6 minutes to get this done, and Gary has just kept it on track, kept it consistent. Yes, he's not been lightning fast, but he's been exactly where he needs to be. Fury, though, 2 tenths up through sector 1 now on his best lap time.
The time's not only ebbing and flowing between Dan and Fury. Fury's ebbing and flowing between
Gary.
Sorry, between Gary and Fury. Apologies. Fury's ebbing and flowing between himself. So hot and cold at the moment.
The thing is, I think Fury he wants to catch Gary before time runs out, and when time does run out, he is going to be in massive trouble because Gary's not the easiest to overtake. I know this for a fact.
Yeah,
and
followed him at Silverstone a few seasons ago on Project Cars.
Yeah, and it made sure in race 2 that I got him done. When Gary is comfortable and he's happy and he's in a car and he's leading, it is probably the worst thing to be facing, because Gary will make sure that any mistake you make, you will have to pay for those mistakes. And Fury at the minute, he might go fastest of them all again. He's currently 2 tenths off on his best lap time. This will put him close to the 36s, but he's just had a little loose moment on exit, and it won't be in the 36s. He crosses the line. Now, Gary 38.8, and Fury does a 37.3.
See, this is the problem in a minute for Joe, though, because then when he does a good lap, what happens at turn 1? It doesn't happen this time. He cautiously gets through there. So there's 4 minutes left. Yeah, turn 1 is his biggest problem at the moment. Although I say that, he's just absolutely launched off the curb through the crane of curves. Make sure you keep that on track. And Hypertech, Dan, what was you saying?
Hypertech's within range now of the Mutts Nuts. Mutts Nuts last lap 40.7, while Hypertech did a 13.94. His fastest of the night so far. He is coming for the Mutts Nuts.
Yeah, so the Mutts Nuts under a bit of under a bit of bother from Hypertech here. Joe's within 1.6, Hypertech's within 3.5. Joe can now see Gary 131. Gary has got no traffic in front, so this will all be about Gary and Joe till the end. The closest car is a Monkey Boy, who is coming up to Goddard's now. They will not catch Monkey in time, and with 3 minutes 30 left, there's what, 2 laps after this left in this race?
Oh, Fury. Oh, he's adamant for the S's again, sorry. But, yeah, there's probably, I think 2 laps after once Gary gets to the line.
So 2 laps for Gary to hang on his 300th race appearance. He's looking for that 30th race win. He's also going to be looking for podium number 91. He goes a little deep at Goddard's. That could invite Fury in a little bit. It's not going to hurt Gary too much. Fury, though, is right on the back of him. The problem is for Fury now is hit them brakes early, because otherwise you could be going into the side of Gary if you go straight on at turn 1.
Oh, he's had a twitch as well. When he went to get to the back of Gary, the front end just twitched as he hit the brakes. But he's got 2 laps now. He's caught him. He's got 2 laps to find a way through, and Gary is not going to make it easy.
No, he's got this lap to find a way through. He's got the next lap to get through. As Hypertech's down to 3.6. Gary now has got to make sure he just hits every apex and nails every part of this track. A little twitchy for both cars as they come through the old hairpin. It is Gary versus Fury. We've seen these two have a few battles over the years here at Simplay Motorsport. And Fury just on the grass a little bit, looked a little slidier than Gary up towards with the first part of McLean's. They both get it through okay. Fury flashing the lights. You see the light flashing on the back. The rain light there.
The thing is, Fury's been taking that grass line the whole time, and sometimes being on the grass.
Oh my God! Sideways! He's sideways through Coppice, and he cannot do anything about it. Gary can live to fight another day at the moment. Fury living life on the edge. Yeehaw, indeed.
Jeez, you want to keep that steed under
control. Here he comes.
He's going to go
Down,
for it.
Here he comes. He's down towards the Melbourne hairpin. He's going to look up the inside of Gary 131, who goes right around the outside. Manages to keep it here. Can he get it back to the apex? I think Fury may have backed out that just in case he went straight on.
Possibly so, and there's more grip on the outside with all the rubber being laid down. There possibly is more grip on the outside. So Gary had the confidence. He has a lot of experience in really twitchy, loose cars. And here we go, last lap, Gary versus Fury.
What a fight it's been. It's been an hour of great racing involving Gary Fury. The Mutts Nuts round the outside at Redgate. Fury's going to have a look. He's not going to do it there, though. Gary just needs to park it on every single apex. Big twitch from Fury on the exit of Redgate. Now as they look towards Hollywood, they're going to go side by side down the crane of curves. Gary's still ahead of Fury, who probably lifts and backs out of that one a little bit to fight another day. But it is Gary versus Joe at the moment. 2 pro drivers really going at it. Fury gets the run on the exit of the old hairpin as they come up the hill now. Gary will have the inside for the little left-hand corner. Joe will have the inside for McLean's. Will he get the job done here? Sliding through. Gary still to the outside. Now tries to tuck back underneath. Was there a bit of contact? Gary's got to come back, an absolute peach. He's on the inside still. This is great racing from Gary 131. Still side by side with that Fury sideways pretty much through the exit of Coppice down the Simplay straight. Fury now takes the lead back from Gary. Gary's back into second place. And hold your breath for 2 more corners. They both missed the chicane. Does this give Gary a run? He's got to run. He's got to run. Is this one last die for Gary? One last chance. Gets the move back done. Parks are on the apex. Joe gets a better run underneath. Gary's going to have the inside line. No, he's not, because Joe's through. Oh, what a last lap this has been here at Donington Park. Gary 131 as he just threw it away. Oh, he taps him back at Joe. Oh, he taps him again. And it is going to be Fury who is going to take a dramatic race win. What a drive. Gary 131 will come home for second place. Oh my days, Hypertech will be third. I don't know what's happened to the Mutts Nuts, by the way, Dan, because he's down in 6th.
He's in the pits.
DJ Phil is P4.
DJ Phil is P4. The Mud's Nuts is back in the pits.
Hypertech will cross the line for P3. DJ Phil is going to get P4. PN will then finish P6 ahead of the Mutts Nuts.
Wow.
I
really hope both of them come into the chat, because that was phenomenal. Why is Gary third?
It doesn't say he's third on mine. It says he's second on mine.
It says third on mine.
Oh, wow. We just await DJ Phil to come through this final part of the lap. DJ Phil, P4, right? I don't care what anybody says. He's one of the votes for driver of the day.
2 tenths by the time they cross the line, Fury and Gary. Wow. Fantastic stuff. DJ Phil, P4, Monkey Boy coming home for P5, PN's already crossed the line in P6, and Cranky Duck headed P7. P8 was the Mutts Nuts, either he had major damage or fuel issues, don't know, as Dean now comes across the line. He will finish in P9, and P10 will go the way of
it's P8 for Dean.
P8?
Mutts Nuts has just dropped to 9th, so I'm not sure, I don't know.
Mutts Nuts will finish last.
No, well, he'll get 9th because he's laps ahead of Alpha Co. Fury also takes fastest lap of the race there, so that'll be an extra point for him. But what a race. We just now got to wait for the Mutts Nuts to be classified as finished. I'm not sure what's happening to the Mutts Nuts there, but he's down the order. Championship standings then with 3 races left to go. Sorry, with 2 races left to go. Snetterton next week, Silverstone the week after. Fury leads away. He's 37 points clear of PN Motorsport, who is second in the championship. DJ Phil is third in the championship. From Dean, Cranky Duckhead tied for P4. Hypertech is P6. Alpha Co is up to 7th. Monkey Boy moves into 8th with Smokey down to 9th. Mutts Nuts into 10th. Daz Automatic drops to 11th. Sven Porto, Tech Leader, Wolfenator stay with the R. Dean, then E. McKizzle. Gary 131's apparently on 1 point. Not sure why he's on 1. Let me just have a look. That's because I equalled the wrong tally. So Gary will actually be P15 ahead of Wolfenator and just behind Tech Leader, as if he is back for next week, he's at his home circuit of Snetterton. Well, while we wait for the Mutts Nuts to be classified as finished, we can chat to our top 2, and we will go to Gary 131 first. Gary, that was a fantastic, dramatic last lap.
Yeah, I had a bit of a lull towards the end of that race, so I thought I see Fury and I think it was Mutts Nuts were quite close together. I thought if I just let the gap down a little bit, Fury will start to overdrive, but he didn't, so that kind of backfired and ended up overtaking me, but there you go.
Yeah, there you go. It was a heck of a battle, though. You nearly got back up his inside at the Melbourne hairpin. He got the cut back on you towards Goddard's. It was just what a lap it was.
Do you know, I thought I parked on the apex an absolute peach, and it just aquaplaned that slight little bit so he could get the nose up, and then that was curtains.
Good racing,
yeah,
though.
Racing.
You had a great battle at the start of the race before the pit stops as well.
Yeah. I ain't got the pace. I haven't practiced. It's just a case of finding your feet as you go, really, and I seemed to settle in all right, and then that's how it turned out.
Proving the old Porsche can still run with the big new cars.
Yeah, well, yeah, hopefully we'll put good dividends to it.
Yeah, does that bode well for Thursday night at the Nürburgring?
Not a chance. That's a totally different ball game.
Between the 2 versions then, Gary, obviously Nürburgring did a bit of testing in the wet the other night. Can you tell the difference between the 2 versions in the wet?
Yeah, it must be something doing with wheel settings, because I actually feel more comfortable on the PS4, if I'm being honest with you.
Really? Right.
Yeah, the steering felt really light on... Sorry, it's my daughter just wanted to have a word. Yeah, the PS5 just seemed... The wheel's so loose, I don't know whether I got a setting slightly wrong, but never mind. P2's P2, and we had some good fun, so... Yeah,
P2's P2. Gary, well done. And Joe... Oh, you left that one late, bud.
Let's just say I'm out of breath from pushing too hard.
You're out of breath. I think I need to go and have a lie down after that one. That was a fantastic last lap between you and Gary.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, miss racing Gary like that. I haven't had a chance to race him like that for a long time, and it's nice to relive it at the track we first met each other at as well.
No repeat of Indianapolis this time for the pair of you, where you lost a wheel and Gary went backwards into the pits. But it was talk us through the last lap, because you hunted Gary down something rotten, and on that last lap, it was back and forth. 1 minute Gary's in the lead, the next minute you are, and then it's back to Gary and back to you. Just talk us through that last lap.
So, the reoccurring issue where I kept running deep is because, for some reason, my brakes were overheating. If I pressed the pedal too hard, it would just, the brakes would go red, and then I'd just go straight on. But I had a couple of issues like that on the last lap with Gary, and yeah, he managed to keep sticking his nose when, he just kept switching positions. But coming into the hairpin, I just had to go for it. I had to try and get the cut back because I seen him coming, and I was like, right, that's the only real place I can do it.
Yeah.
He ran a bit deep. In all fairness, my splitter must have missed the back of his Porsche by about paper thin, because that's all I had was a face full of a Porsche. But yeah.
Well, it was a good win for yourself, Joe. No driver of the day for Joe or Gary, actually, in the chat. It's going to be split between Hypertech and DJ Phil. So there we go. The fans' vote goes away of Hypertech and DJ Phil for that. Dan, final thoughts on a dramatic Donington in your driver of the day?
Wow. Donington Park, what can we say? It always delivers great racing. Wet weather always delivers great racing, and I think both of these boys to make sure they don't have a setup or any practice before they both come in, because that was fantastic to watch. Nice to see Gary back to his old ways, back in his old Porsche, and British circuits. What do you expect? Gary's going to be the man to try and beat at the British circuit. So it was nice to see Gary back to his best. Hypertech, brilliant drive towards the end to try and catch Mutt's nuts. DJ Phil, phenomenal drive in the Lamborghini. I'm going to give him an honourable mention. Fury, strategy was a bit risky, but I think just pushing a little bit too hard than he needed to, but nonetheless a great recovery drive from himself. And I look forward to Snetterton. If it's going to be wet and dark like this and degrees going to be below 9, then fantastic. I can't wait to see it. But for me, my driver of the day is Gary 131. Yeah. What a drive. Great strategy, and also just losing out right on the last lap to the guy who's been dominating this championship.
Like you say, honourable mention to Hypertech and DJ Phil. I've got a good Gary as well. I think it's been fantastic. Someone, put a real challenge we've not seen since Monza with Porto and Sven. Someone put Fiore under pressure like that. He had it very easy at Imola. Well, he didn't have it as easy today. It was a fantastic race for Gary and for Fiore. So Gary, the commentator's driver of the day. In terms of the fans' vote, that went the way of DJ Phil and Hypertech. Shikaku in the chat, whoa, that was awesome. Well done, guys. Indeed, it was. Tomorrow night, though, penultimate round of the season in the GT4s as we head to a wet Nürburgring. The night race is back, and it's a week of night races. Nürburgring, the night race, 8 p.m. GMT, live. Myself, and PN Motorsport will be live for all the action of the GT4s. Dan versus Fury in that one. Fury's got to do it all again, 24 hours time, as he tries to defend his championship lead from Unorthodox. 2 tonight will be AM, obviously, if you want to see some drivers' POVs like Dean Wisocki and PM Motorsport live on Twitch. Go and check them out on their AM POV Tuesday night. Wednesday night, hopefully she'll be back live, driver permitted. We'll be back live night race at Nürburgring. Championships wrapped up there. It's all about final places and a bit of fun and pride for certain drivers as well. Thursday night, Dan will be back in the commentary box for the Pro Series at the Nürburgring. I myself will not be there. This week it is between Ripper and Overtaker for the championship. It's down to 30 points, I do believe, or 30 something points after a successful Suzuka for Overtaker then at the Nürburgring. And myself and Dan will be back live next Sunday, penultimate round night race, Snetterton, another British circuit. Will Gary 131 be back to promote his home circuit and to produce some fantastic racing with Fury? Who else will try and stop Fury winning another championship, as at the minute he bids to become a 5-time champion, I believe, if you win both of these. Am I right there, Joe? 5 times?
I think so.
Pro-Am, Touring Cars, Porsche Cup.
Pro-Am don't count.
Well, I mean, it does.
Hold on.
I mean, it does. It does. That's it. Joe bids. Joe bids to go for 5 more championships. Can anybody stop him? It's Dan, or at the minute, PM Motorsport, the 2 drivers who are Joe's closest championship rivals. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night.
Closest championship rivals. We'll see you next time. Good night. Good night. Oh.
Gary, you fucking beast.
Sexy fucking beast.
bollocks. I thought I was going to hold on for that.
And
Fucking
Fury,
Gary.
you fucking penis.
What?
You go like you. I was watching your lap times. It was fucking brilliant. Gary, you were just like consistently just sat there struggling to get the lap times out, and I'm like, oh, Fury's just gonna catch him and piss past him. And every time I went on board, you straight line turn one so
Bro,
bad
if
every
you look
time.
back at my stream,
What
at some
did you
point,
do to the car? What
my
made you
brake
like?
ducts,
What?
I shot my brake ducts just to keep the brakes warm. Evidently, turning it down by 1 was fucking too much.
You set them to
Mate, I was
one.
struggling with brakes as well, to be fair.
I turned it down from 4 to 3 on front and rear. Rear was fine. The front, fuck no. Literally going into turn 1, 9 times out of 10, straight to red. I was like, for fuck's sake. So I had to keep